Hello, everyone. This is your host, Alex Balgood, and this is Leap of Health. And today we have from Peru, Amayra Morales. She's a Ayurveda practitioner and a yoga instructor. We're gonna be talking about skin, gut, and all these things. But before we dive into that, tell us a little bit about your story and how you got to end up in Peru.
Yeah, Alex, thank you so much for your time. I'm super excited to connect with you and your audience and on a topic that's kind of very, very special and near to my heart. So I ended up in Peru in 2019. I was born here in Peru, grew up in Australia. My family and I migrated to Australia when I was 8, when terrorism started to break out here, and it was quite an unsafe country to be living in. So we migrated to Australia. And then since then, from the age of 18, I've been coming to Peru maybe like every 2, 3 years, but during my annual leave, which is like 2 weeks max, no? And then I had to always go back to Australia. But in 2019, I decided this is the year that I'm going to go and reconnect with my roots and get to know my family on a deeper level, know my culture, the food, everything about Peru, no? So that was 2019. And then I kind of wanted to stay a little bit longer. I started connecting with beautiful people. There's a beautiful spiritual community here. And then March 2020 rolled around and I was like, okay, I don't think we're going anywhere, like for 2 months max now. And obviously we know the obvious, the events that happened. So I was kind of stuck here for a little while, happily stuck in Peru. And I've been happily stuck here since.
I love that. It's just awesome. I mean, it just happened. Unfortunately, we had these crazy events that COVID happened. So you end up kind of like stuck in paradise. So why not?
Really, yeah, compared to what my friends back home and my family were telling me about Australia. And I was like, no, I can still like go for walks here, like I can still connect with nature and stuff. Whereas I felt like Australia was having a very, very difficult time. So I was definitely very happy to be here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you're back to Peru and connecting with your roots and all that. Um, so yeah, tell us a little bit about how you uh started your journey with rosacea. What is that? Like what? Because a lot of people, let's probably start from there. Because we were talking earlier, I had a confusion on what is rosacea and eczema. Because in my mind, it was kind of like the same thing. But tell us the difference and what's what and how that connects to your story.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how some practitioners may see it quite similar. No, but it's interesting. This rosacea journey, I've had maybe since I was like 15 or so, but it really, really catapulted when I was kind of in the corporate world. And rosacea is actually a condition of inflammation, no? So you go to the doctor, they may just give you antibiotics, and then you go to a dermatologist and they're just giving you some cream. But the reality is that not many people are getting to the root cause, and the root cause is definitely the gut, and in Ayurveda, we bang on about the digestive system quite a lot, which is really the focal point of a lot of the work that I do with my clients. So no, so since it's inflammation, it comes from too much heat in the body. And no, as coming from a Spanish-speaking country, they always say "tiene fuego," no? Like I have a lot of like the mamitas that I go here in the market, and you say like I've got this symptom, and they're like, "Oh, tienes fuego," no? So they
Yeah.
give you cooling herbs, cooling or demulcent stuff, no? And you need to bring your fire down. No? So this is pretty much what rosacea is. No? So it's inflammation. And some people can have it really mild. And then you get to a stage where, I don't know if you've noticed, Alex, but some people have like quite a red nose. So that's kind of,
Yes.
yeah, so that's kind of the extreme of it. And then there's different rosaceas kind of in between there. No? And even some people may get it like red veins on the white parts of the eye. So that's like really like very inflamed body, no? And eczema
Mm,
is very similar, but it's mainly a dry symptom. So what we would treat that with more hydration, oils, and that kind of stuff. And I think in traditional Chinese medicine, eczema is treated more with the liver. So in Ayurveda, again, we would go back to the digestive system. But the appearance of it, I can see how people confuse it. Now, rosacea mainly like you have redness, you may have like acne breakout as well, and you may even have like broken capillaries, mainly under like on the nose, and then on the cheeks.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, now it does kind of make sense now that you're mentioning it. Yeah, I could see how eczema, it almost you're right. It's like very dry and it
mhm.
almost looks uh like patches of very thick
Yeah,
dried skin. Okay, got it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And I think eczema, you can get it in different parts of the body, no? Whereas rosacea is mainly, unfortunately, kind of where you see it, no? On the
In
face.
the face. Oh,
Yeah.
that's right, because usually eczema I've seen elbows, maybe like knees, I think maybe like on the, I don't know if it's like on the back of the head or something, but yeah, you're right. I never thought about that. We
Yeah.
learned something new today. I love that. And tell us, how did you went from all these antibiotics to get rid of your recession?
Yeah, so I guess the journey really began, like as I mentioned, in the corporate world, you know. So I was kind of, we're talking about maybe 5 years ago when I was like pushing my body to its absolute limit and prioritizing maybe my career. I was stressed out. I was probably drinking too much. I was kind of living for the weekend. My diet was probably not the best, and I was popping Panadols like it was kind of candy, you know. I don't know if you have Panadols in the US, no, it's like a just a painkiller kind of thing. No, when you're hungover, have pain or whatever, you just pop a Panadol.
Oh,
And
okay. Like an Advil or something.
yeah, I think you guys call it.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Advil.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
And and not really listening to kind of the whispers of the universe, no? So the whispers came in, the form of a little tap, which came in like the form of indigestion, weak immune system. I was losing hair, like I literally couldn't run my fingers through my hair. And then the universe gave me a little pinch, anxiety, hypothyroid, insomnia, and I also had candida, parasites, low body weight, and amenorrhea. So I actually lost my cycle for about 8 months, no?
Mm,
And yeah, then finally the universe gave me a little slap across the face and sent me to hospital because obviously I wasn't listening to all the other clues that, my body was giving me, no? So yeah, I landed in hospital due to burnout and a whole host of like kind of mineral deficiencies. And I guess there isn't a bigger wake-up call than kind of staring at the ceiling of a hospital room and realizing that, I had no one to blame but me. I was used to blaming maybe like ex-boyfriends, parents, work, or whatever, but this was kind of on me, no?
mhm,
Because I had this, I guess part of it, as you know, coming from a Latin family and, a
mhm,
migrant family as well. There's certain pressures from parents to succeed. Like, we didn't have this when I was growing up. So now, go to university, get married, have kids or whatever, no? So part of it was that, and part of it was me, like really loving the luxuries that came with living working in the corporate world, no?
mhm,
So once I was actually released from hospital, I became kind of increasingly frustrated, because I went from specialist to specialist trying to find answers to the long list of symptoms I was having, no? And the only solution seemed to be prescription medication. And I guess at that time I wasn't really awake, but I knew intuitively that there was something deeper within, So I kind of felt like I was going a little bit crazy, not going around in circles with them. And I think one of the biggest things was like, wow, like I'm 35 and now I'm on all sorts of medication. Like, what does my 50s, 60s, 70s look like? No? And
yes.
yeah, so I could feel this like kind of frustration, disappointment, and uncertainty brewing deep within me. Until one day I analyzed, every aspect of my life. My job was making me sick. I was in the middle of a breakup. My health was declining, and Sydney just didn't feel like home anymore. No, and hands down, it was definitely the lowest health point in my life. And The only thing that I actually had going for me was that I had saved a substantial amount of money. No, but what's the point of having all this money when your health was declining, no, and everything else was like collapsing around me, no?
Yeah.
So I kind of said, stuff this, I'm going to India and I've got this deep desire of becoming a yoga teacher. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that flight from Sydney to Bangalore, India would actually kind of change my life, no? And then after doing my yoga teacher training, I ended up at an Ayurvedic clinic, no, because I got really, really sick. But this time it was different, no? I was alone in a foreign country. I didn't speak the language, and I didn't know who to turn to, no? And then obviously somebody said to me, like, hey, like, why don't you try an Ayurvedic practitioner? There's a doctor down the road who a lot of foreigners seem to go to from all parts of the world. And initially I was like, okay, it sounds a little woo-woo because the little that I had heard about Ayurveda in my yoga teacher training, I was like, no, it doesn't really like it doesn't inspire me to go and see one, no?
Mm-hmm.
But, this little voice inside of me said, what have you got to lose? So off I went to the Ayurvedic practitioner and he took my pulse, looked at my tongue, looked at my eyes, and he asked me all these bunch of questions. And he said, I know exactly what's wrong with you and I know how to help you. And there's nothing more satisfying than hearing that, no? Because in Sydney, everybody was like, oh yeah, just take a pill. Oh yeah, just do this, do that random stuff. But he was like, I can help you, So that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, how the Ayurveda component began.
That is awesome. What was some of the things that this doctor did for you?
So after I had the consultation with him, he said to me, "I think you would be a great candidate to go in and do a detox program." No, so which in his practice it's called a panchakarma, which is what a lot of people do to kind of detox the body. No, but with me and all my health issues, he had to go super gentle at the beginning. No, but even within 2 weeks, I started noticing that I was sleeping better, I was digesting food properly, I had more energy, my skin started to clear up, and I was like, wow, this is 2 weeks into a program of something that I have never kind of experienced for a long time, no? And I remember just sitting in my room crying one day because it's the first time that I felt connected to my body, because at the beginning he would ask me like, how did that meal sit in your belly? Like, what's your energy level? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, what's your mind doing? I was like, I don't know. But after that, I was able to tell him, wow, like, that stew that you gave me today kind of gave me a little bit more gas. This happened, that happened. So I was able to connect with him because I was able to connect with my body on a deeper level.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
think that's one of the things that we just forget. We are on the run, we're stressed out, we forget
Mhm.
about simple questions like how do I feel today?
Mhm.
How did the food feel, or felt when I had it for lunch or anything? Just like take deep breaths sometimes and you know, we just need reminders all the time to just continue to connect to ourselves. So yeah, it's super
Yeah.
important.
Yeah, and the other thing is that, I've only ever lived in my brain, so I don't know what it's like to live in someone else's brain or body, So I thought all my symptoms were kind of normal, because every doctor in Sydney told me like, oh yeah, your blood work is normal, this is normal, it's probably like genetics, blah, blah, no? So, but once I started to incorporate all these Ayurvedic practices, I felt grounded. Like I hadn't felt like that before, no? The mind was always going crazy. I wasn't sleeping well, racing thoughts. So to me, like being grounded was like, wow, this is
Mhm.
cool. Like I love feeling like this, no? So it
Mhm.
was really an interesting journey with him.
That is awesome. And just for everybody that's listening, I know you know about Ayurveda and yoga and all that, but if anyone that is like their first time listening to any of those conversations, tell us just like briefly how Ayurveda works. What is it?
Yeah, well, I love this question now, and a lot of people are asking now, which really is exciting to an Ayurveda geek like me. So, Ayurveda is probably like one of the most sophisticated and powerful health systems in the world, and it comes from two Sanskrit words, Ayur meaning life and Veda meaning knowledge. So, Ayurveda means the knowledge of life, no? And originated in India. We're talking like 5,000 years ago. And I love it because it's kind of having a comeback. And perhaps even your audience are practicing yoga right now and may not even are practicing Ayurveda right now and may actually not even realize it. No, there's
Mm-hmm.
tons of oil pulling routines and kitchery and all of this kind of stuff. No, so that's kind of where it dates back to. No, but I guess if I could sum up Ayurveda in one sentence, it's about creating balance between the body and the mind, no? And it's interesting because in the West, we tend to kind of focus on the diet, no? But that's actually just 1/5 of the equation when in the terms of Ayurveda, no? Because Ayurveda also looks at lifestyle, mindfulness practices. What are your relationships like? You know, are you living your dharma, your purpose, the big reason why you're here?
That's just like so freaking amazing. Just like those words, like we we just forget about this amazing life that we could be living if we can only see our lives and our how our body's feeling as a whole system. I
Yeah,
always said, the more you see your body and your life and how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, as a whole system, as opposed to separate your body from your feelings, your
yeah.
body from what your mind is telling you, or what your heart's telling you, if we will just like come up, to a whole thing. We're part of one thing. It will be so great and so much better, especially when it comes to healing, I think.
Yeah, and absolutely. And another thing that I actually love about Ayurveda is it's bio-individuality medicine. So basically, what it means that we're all unique individuals. So what may be amazing for you, Alex, may not necessarily work for me. No, and this is what happens once we start recommending like I don't know, the cabbage soup. It's made me lose weight. It has this, it has that, and I'm like, well, if I was to have that, I would have gas, I would be bloated, and I would be constipated. So this is the beauty that I love. This is I think why Ayurveda outshines a lot of other health systems out there, no?
Hmm.
Because we're not just digesting food, no, we're also digesting thoughts and emotions, no. So if our digestion is out of balance, then it's going to have a ripple effect on all other parts of our life.
Hmm. And as you mentioned, this is a technique, a modality, a cultural thing that we've been doing for 5,000 years. You know, Chinese medicine has been out there for 3,000 years or 4,000 years around that too. And
Mhm.
then we look at modern medicine, it's been around for what, 500 years, maybe less than that. So we, it's like we're doing things backwards. We've been
Yeah.
doing medicine for about 5,000 years. Well, where things, using food and connecting with ourselves, connecting with our minds to heal ourselves is no longer a thing. Now we want like this injection or this pill and things like that to become better, but it's never to actually go to the root. And I think that's something that Ayurveda that's really well. We look for the root to actually see how to help the individual. And as you said, it's very customized to everyone. It's not one thing goes for you. This is the same for you. No, it's like different for everybody. So I think it's just so cool. People should really, if you have never heard about this and you're curious, please look for a practitioner and see how they can assist you. I think it's just amazing. Like to me, it's just like, let's go back to the basics. We've been doing it for thousands of years and we were doing it well, right? And how does that connect now with rosacea and your gut and your skin? How does that connect?
Yeah. So as I mentioned, no, rosacea is kind of an inflammation condition, no? So when I work with my clients, for example, I get them to do like like a lot of people, and this is so interesting, Alex. A lot of people think they're eating quite healthy. No, when I speak to my clients, they always say, "Yeah, no, but I eat really healthy," and I'm like, "Okay." let's have a look at it. No, so give me like a food diary of the past 5 days. Now I just want you to track it, and I don't want you to think like Amayra's like going to look at this and I'm going to eat healthier this week. I just want you to eat exactly what you would normally eat, no? And I want you to tell me about your bowel movements. I want you to tell me about your hydration. I want you to tell me about energy. I want you to tell me about your sleep, no? And when I actually compile this report that they're giving me, I'm like, okay. So seems like you're having alcohol like twice or three times a week, no? But it's only one glass. And I'm like, okay, have you noticed that that probably flares up the rosacea? They're like, yeah. And the fermented kombucha, like, do you think that's healthy? And because we've been told that kombucha and all these ferments are healthy, Ayurveda says always it depends, no? It depends on the individual, no? Because if you already have inflammation, that's actually going to increase the inflammation in the body, no? So when it comes down and I analyze everything, then they realize that, okay, maybe they're not having the greatest diet, no? And more than likely, when I've looked at, quite a lot of studies with rosacea, it also comes down to gut issues such as SIBO, such as Candida, such as IBS, no? And if you look at the commonalities of those issues, it's inflammation as well, no? So if you're
Mhm.
telling me that you're having oats and then you're having dates and all this, yeah, it may seem healthy for some people, no? But oats turns into sugar, which feeds the Candida, no? And Candida increases rosacea. So it's interesting when I have a look at the whole scope of a person. No? So people who think they're eating healthy, that may not necessarily be. No? So my job as a practitioner is to go in there and do an analysis of their dosha and then an anti-inflammatory diet, no, with low glycemic foods, no. So we're talking apples, berries, kiwi fruits, no, instead of mango, bananas, papaya, no, which is obviously increasing probably the candida or other factors, no. So I love this work because it's analyzing a lot of the practices, no? And maybe they're going to, I don't know, Barry's boot camp and doing, high intensity work, which is probably like increasing their rosacea, and they're probably like sunning themselves in midday sun, and you're like, okay, yeah, I told you to go. Yeah, grounding is amazing, but not at 12 o'clock, no, when the sun is directly above us, kind of thing, no? Let's do that at 8 a.m. or let's do that at 4 p.m. when the sun is not so intense, no? So yeah, this kind of work really lights me up.
Yeah, for sure. And I think too, just keep that in mind when, especially when we have some sort of a issue or a problem that we want to address, like rosacea. Uh, think about, yes, you're eating healthy. There's a lot of foods that are healthy, but that might be causing certain things to whatever you're trying to tackle down. So I think good practices are also just to keep in mind, they will react differently on
Yeah.
whatever you're trying to get rid of or trying to help. In this case, we're talking about rosacea. So yes, there's a lot of healthy foods. And like I crack up sometimes because some people are like, well, I'm eating organic. And I'm like, yes, bro, you're eating organic cookies. That doesn't mean they're good for you.
Yeah.
So just really keeping in mind, depending, if you're bloated or whatever gut issues you're having, it is nice to just kind of like have someone to take a look at our healthy, quote unquote, foods that we're eating, because maybe we should be changing them for other healthy foods that might be more beneficial. Talk a little bit about the anti-inflammatory diet, because I think people also too, it becomes very fancy and very out there in social media, but what is it? Because it's not just water with lemon.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And it's not just about cutting, the culprits, no, sugar, cheese, or dairy and wheat. No, I mean that's a really great start, no? But I think an anti-inflammatory diet as well consists of like depending on your dosha in Ayurveda, no? So I'm going to say that rosacea is mainly due to inflammation, which is mainly due to a pitta imbalance, so too much, fire in the body, no? So things that we want to favor is cooking with oils that have cooling properties, no? So, like you're saying, I'm eating organic cookies, but when I look at the pack, I'm like, okay, it's got canola oil and it's got like soya oil. Okay, yeah, it's probably got organic oats. Okay, that's a really great start, no? But then you look at the sugar content and stuff. So, what part of that cookie is actually organic? I don't know. Let's go out on a limb and say like 10%, 20% max
Exactly.
generates here, no? So looking at the kind of oils you're consuming, no, that's one factor. So with my rosacea clients, I tend to get them to use ghee quite a lot. Ghee is quite anti-inflammatory, and I get them to cook with coconut oil. So those are the two oils that I get my clients to cook with, no? And then when we're talking about like an anti-inflammatory diet, no, obviously like green leafy vegetables are favored. Also, we want to favor things that are cooling in nature, no? Like cucumber, coconut juice, coconut water, sorry, cilantro, coriander. I don't know, people call them different things now.
Right.
Um, but we want to not do too many heating things, no? So we want to do less like onions and bell peppers or anything that has heat, no? And interesting, one thing that I hear quite a lot is like, oh, but like those immune boosting shots, they're anti-inflammatory. Yeah, for some people it could be, no? But if you look at, turmeric, if you use it for a long time, it can have a heating component to it as well. And so does ginger, no? So we try, like for my clients that are like obsessed with having immunity shots, I actually get them to do like a beetroot shot, no?
Hmm.
So it's not just about cutting things out, like you can never have an immunity shot ever again. So I get them to, for example, have, put it on a food, like to extract juice from like a beetroot. Apple, which obviously are very cooling, no? And if you want to get your ginger, put a tiny bit of ginger in there. And if you want to get your vitamin C shot, no, put some camel in there, no, which is grown here in the Amazon of Peru, or amla berry, which is another great source of vitamin C, no? So that's kind of a good immunity shot for them, and maybe put some coriander in there as well, no? So it's just kind of shifting these kind of things, no? And also to do a lot of breath work, no? So just kind of people tell me like, oh, what kind of herbs can I do to like calm my nervous system? I'm like, sure, I can give you ashwagandha, I can give you this, I can give you that. How's your breath? Like, how are you breathing? Show me, And usually people, I don't know if you've noticed, people breathe like inhale from the chest, no?
Right.
And really, we should be inhaling from the diaphragm, from the belly, no? So it's kind of these minor tweaks. And like I said, no, also put your bare feet on the grass, but not obviously at midday, no? Early in the morning or late in the afternoon, and really work on your sleep. No, sleep is really crucial for rosacea. And I think it's not just a rosacea case. I think there's a lot of people with insomnia issues now, thanks to our phones being right in front of us all the time. No,
Mhm.
so yeah, that's kind of like how I like to start with my clients.
Yeah, no, and I think one of the things that we need to start maybe shifting this mindset is that one thing is that not everything that's popular right now is going to work for us. As you mentioned, like shots of ginger can be, instead of helping you, can be, making things worse. Because
Yeah.
we some sort of in this modern world, we see something like, oh, what's the thing to do now? Ginger shot for the flu, for this, for that. And then we're just go all in it. And we're like, is it really helping? Is it
Yeah.
not helping? So I think having that open mind of like, oh, I know this is good, but is it good for me right now? So I think just having that mindset of maybe question it a little bit or look for a professional or have like, I know a lot of practitioners sometimes have a one-on-one free or they have different things that they can offer you where they can help you. I think just the main thing with health in general is like we shouldn't just go all in with everything that it's good because most likely some of those will not be good for you. And I love that you mentioned, especially with like onion, ginger, and turmeric. You mentioned turmeric too, and it just really made me think. We think that turmeric it's amazing, for certain things. But also too, in order to be good for the body, we have to use pepper. And I think pepper might be some sort of a heat component in it. So it's all these things that we must keep in mind when it comes to health, especially if you're trying to heal something or make your um, overall wellness better. So it's just mind blowing to just be like, wow, wait, I thought I was doing a good thing.
Yeah, and it's interesting when I did my Ayurvedic studies now, and the teacher said, whenever somebody reaches out to you and says, "Hey, like, what do you think about ABC?" No, your answer should always be, "It depends." No, never go in there and say, "Yeah, I think, I don't know, like kombucha is great for everybody," because it's not, no, and it's tailored to that specific. So you cannot give advice to anybody until you know their dosha, their imbalances, no? And then you can start to give out information, but never ever say that that's really healthy or that's great, no, because it is based on bio individuality.
Exactly. And we all live such a different lives, Some people might be very sedentary. Some of them might be like on the road because they have kids or something like that. Some of people might be more of like night owls and their life is like very nighttime and they sleep during the day and things like that. There's so many things that can be actually triggering some other things. So yeah, definitely keeping all that in mind.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great. That is awesome. So now that you have, we have talked about anti-inflammatory diet and you go through that. What are some of the things that you recommend to your clients or people that has rosacea that they should be thinking about it to not just a temporary thing, but life kind of like life change or adding things to their lifestyles that can help.
Mm. Okay. So most people that I've
Mm-hmm.
spoken to with rosacea love having a hot shower. They love it. No? And then maybe at the end they might turn on the cold tap for just, I don't know, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, no? Because people have told them that doing that is great, no? And I'm like, okay, just keep a diary of, how that goes. So having a hot shower for somebody who has rosacea is probably one of the worst things you can do, because you don't want to add heat to the body, no? And obviously we want to keep away from the sun because that's going to add to the fire, no? So we want to obviously get the morning sun, which is fine, no, which is actually is helpful for everybody, no, to get that morning sun because that's going to set you up for your evening, no, to have a great sleep, no. Get the
Mm-hmm.
first kind of sun for the day, and that's it, no. So keep away from the sun, obviously keeping away from hot, spicy food. And actually, I've told some of my Peruvian clients, and they're like, "But no chili, no ají," and I was like, "Yeah, no, it's kind of bad for you." And keeping away from alcohol. No, alcohol is a really definitely a trigger for a lot of my clients. Fermented food is also another trigger. Um, and also doing like quite cooling practices, no? Like if you are fortunate enough to live near the beach, go out for a swim early morning, kind of sunset, and think about doing like kind of restorative yoga, no, a lot of people with rosacea are the pitta imbalance and they're go-getters, no, they want to do things, they want to hit goals and do that kind of stuff, but really it's about grounding down, cooling the body down, no? So those are the kind of things as well. And one thing that I've actually started to be really passionate about as well is taking a look at your skincare. Now, we can be eating the most amazing diet, having maca from the Andes of Peru, having salt from the Himalayas, having like some random, kind of powder. But at the end of the day, like if your digestive system is not working properly, right, then it's no point, no? So having a look at all the ingredients that you're taking in. And also, I've noticed that a lot of people seem to just be following other people's advice in terms of supplements, no? Oh, because I heard it on Instagram. Oh, because my friend told me. And I'm like, but are you actually deficient in that? They're like, well, I don't know. Okay, how many supplements are you taking? Oh, like about 9 a day. And I'm like, okay. Do you know what that's doing to your liver? Like, unless you're deficient in that, please go ahead and take supplements, but don't just take it because some Instagrammer, is promoting and getting paid for promoting this particular product. No, so keeping it simple. No, Ayurveda is about keeping things really simple, because as you know, Alex, we've overcomplicated our health. No, having so many like things going on, so many supplements, so many dairy, like, and I can understand from the consumer's point of view, like, who do I listen to? Like Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine. I've got paleo, I've got keto. Like it's very, very,
Everything.
it's so overwhelming, no? But even if you don't follow the path of Ayurveda, no, like just follow like an easy to digest food diet, keep in rhythms with the nature, connect with nature, keep up with your hydration. No? Something like 70% of Americans are severely dehydrated, no? And that's a huge problem as well.
Hmm. And also too, I mean, it's just it's just work. We're not gonna like being healthy. It's not, just one thing and we're good. Being healthy is literally a thing that you need to work at it, unfortunately, because our water systems, they're not the best quality. The vegetables, fruits, food, it's not the best quality. If you don't know about food, then you don't know what you're eating. So that's like another problem. Uh,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, the more we know, the better we do, right? So I think knowledge is power here. And yeah, simple things as just drinking water. And if you can try to drink the best water you can, spring water, or just not tap water, because especially in the United States, they tend to add all these chlorine, or any other minerals that are very damaging for the body. So um, I know in different parts of the world, because this is listened in Australia, India, and all other parts. Not sure how the water system is over there, but definitely just kind of like have a little knowledge of what kind of water you might be able to drink. It's always a good thing. And especially as you mentioned, we're all dehydrated.
Yeah. And actually just one Ayurvedic hack if you want it. No, like one thing that we love in Ayurveda is doing Ayurveda Gatorade. So if you can get some good quality coconut water, maybe sprinkle some Celtic sea salt in there, maybe put in some lime, a squeeze of lime. Maybe you want to put in there as well some maple syrup and just grate some ginger. No? If you feel like you may be dehydrated, no, one of the first signs in Ayurveda is you have a crack on your tongue, no? You have one
Mm,
crack in the middle or a few other cracks along the side, no? Your skin is dry. You probably have brain fog, no? Your eyes are dry. So if you are experiencing these kind of things, no, maybe think about having the Ayurvedic Gatorade twice a day, 3 times a day, no, just to get your minerals up, no? Because we can drink the most like, I don't know, the most amazing water, but at the end of the day, if you're just peeing like 20 minutes after it, the water's just going through you, no? So you do need some.
exactly.
Yeah, so you can go for Celtic sea salt as a good mineral. There's another fancier one which is called bamboo salts as well, so you can add that to your water. But I tend to put some Celtic sea salt in the morning just under my tongue, and then naturally, like my body is craving, water. Then I go and have my morning water.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's so many things and little, tricks and tips that we can follow. What are some of your favorites that are super simple that you can give to people that want to give it a try on just a little start for the day with
Ayurvedic hack.
Ayurveda? Yes.
Yeah, so I think one of the best investments I've ever made was a tongue scraper. So
Mm,
it's a U-shaped device. So you become addicted to it. And I do this every morning, and my morning cannot, like, even when I go away or something, I have to bring my tongue scraper with me. So throughout the night, your body is going through this process of detoxification, no? And a lot of the ama, the toxins, do show up on your tongue, no? So for those of you listening, get a mirror, pull out your tongue, and if you have like a white or a yellowish coating on your tongue, it means that you probably have some toxins in the body somewhere, no? So toxins come from the stomach or from all parts of the body, and then they kind of surface on your tongue, no? So you get the tongue scraper, you put it towards the back of your tongue and you scrape, not hard, just very lightly, maybe like 5 to 10 times in the morning, no? And you'll see on the U-shaped device that there is this kind of like cottage cheese kind of residue. You need to
Mm-hmm.
get rid of it, no? So then you can just brush your teeth normally, and then we want to oil pull, no? So oil pulling is a practice that has been done for so many years in Ayurveda. And actually, there's a few companies now doing kind of with essential oils and all this kind of stuff. But if you just want to start with coconut oil, that's a really great start, no? So that's going to help with overall digestion, no? Because digestion actually starts in the mouth, according to Ayurveda. So if we have good oral hygiene from the beginning of the day, then that's going to take you through to the rest of the day, no? So what coconut oil does, and you'll notice that obviously it's quite liquidy when you put it in your mouth initially, and once you spit it out, because you're just going to swish it around in your mouth, once you spit it out, it's kind of got this creamy consistency. So that's gotten rid of all the bad bacteria, no? Because if we want to like use mouthwashes like a blue one, I won't mention the brand, but that's actually stripping the good and the bad bacteria from the mouth, no? So already you are beginning a journey of, digestion in not the best way, no? So with this coconut oil, you're actually going to keep the good bacteria in the mouth, no? So that's
Exactly, yes.
yeah. So that's definitely two hacks that I would begin with, and always start your morning with warm water. I know a green cold smoothie or a cold, icy cold kind of drink is, people crave for in the morning, but warm water is actually really detoxifying, no? And I always encourage my clients to have warm water first thing in the morning, because your digestive system is kind of like, the kitchen sink, no? If you have clogged kitchen sink, you're not going to put cold water or ice in there, right? That's just going to clog it up even more.
Correct.
So
Exactly.
warm water is actually going to help you obviously detoxify the body, hydrate the body, and also going to help you have a bowel movement, which is essential first thing kind of in the morning, no? So those
Mm-hmm.
are my first three hacks in the morning. And then obviously having a routine where you're eating meals at the same time every day, no? Like let's go for 8 a.m. Breakfast, lunch at 1, and then dinner at 6, no? Because we want to get the digestive system going in terms of knowing exactly what to do each time of the day, no? So
Mm-hmm.
if you're having breakfast at like 5 and then 7 and then 9 and then 10 and then skipping breakfast, the digestive system is like, I don't even know what I'm doing, no? But if you get into a habit of having a meal at a particular time each day, the body knows, okay, cool, I'm going to produce enzymes soon. No, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So, having like a solid daily routine is really, really key. And then obviously having a great evening practice as well, no, where we're kind of off our phones for a while, no, we're maybe like doing some stretches, getting into like this night routine so you have an epic sleep and you're ready to kick off the next day.
Those are fantastic tips. And I think if everyone can just start with those, they will make a big difference in just in their lives as a whole. I do
Mm.
have a question. So
Yeah.
for the tongue scraper, what is the difference if I use that and if I brush down my thumb with just a toothbrush? Because I'm
Yeah.
always like, is it the same thing? Because I feel like it's also doing the same thing, but not sure. So
Yeah.
tell
Have you
me.
got a scraper?
I have not, but
Okay.
I've seen them and I'm like, I don't know. Like in my mind, I'm like, is it the same thing?
Well, if it was between like one of those toothbrushes who supposedly the back of it have a tongue scraper
Right.
or a tongue scraper itself, I would choose a tongue scraper. And if it was between a spoon and a tongue scraper, I would choose a tongue scraper. But if it was between a toothbrush and a spoon, I would choose a spoon. Not choosing a toothbrush doesn't really do the exact job, no. Even though
Okay.
it's got those little, I don't know, things on it that supposedly no, because what we want to do is we want to scrape, and it's the actual equipment of it is essential for like getting rid of toxins, no? So I would
Okay.
be keen for you to try it, no? Just try your toothbrush, see how that goes, and then do the tongue scraper after it. And if there's any residue in there, I would say more than likely yes, there would be.
Okay. I will check that out. Also, too, one more
Yep.
question on that.
Yeah.
because the moment I wanted to buy one, then I came across all these things. Now they have copper, and now there's the regular ones that are made, like plastic. There's these other ones, and like all these other materials. What am I supposed to buy now?
I think stainless steel is always the best, and the brand that I use is Dr. Tung's. And I think I don't know, I can't remember. I got mine for a while ago, but it was something like $11 or something. So it's not overly expensive, no.
Right,
But
right.
copper is traditionally used in Ayurveda. Like you'll notice that they run for like copper flasks, copper jugs, and all that kind of stuff, no. But I guess with what I have been told by my doctor is that, you can have kind of heavy metals due to copper in the body as well. So stainless steel is always the best choice when it comes to tongue scrapers.
Okay. See,
Yeah.
that answers my question. Now I can go and get me one online.
I wouldn't
Because
do plastic. I wouldn't do plastic for sure. No, we want to obviously eliminate as much plastic as we can overall, and sometimes it's very difficult for us to do so. But yeah, stainless steel is always the best option.
nice. Now I know what to order and exactly this the best choice because believe me, I was like, yeah, should give me one. And I'm like, well, I'm already brushing my tongue and all this. Once I made the decision to go get me one, I came across all these, you know, materials and all these fancy things, and I'm like, oh, which one am I supposed to get? Am I supposed to get the regular one, the copper fancy one? Which one? But I think you're right. Stainless steel, uh, it's not gonna keep bacteria. It's not gonna keep anything else. Easy to wash, and I think it'll last for forever, pretty much. So
Yeah.
I'll definitely try that. I have loved this conversation. I think it has been full of amazing tips. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us before we go?
No, just I don't know, keep your health super simple. I know for a while I was outsourcing my health to other people, to doctors who I put my full trust in them. But educate yourself. No, what are these symptoms like what's going on? No, so you don't go blind into like your next doctor's appointment and be like, sure, yeah, I'll take those, 12 tablets that you tell me to take. No, so I think empowering ourselves when it comes to health is really powerful. No, so don't outsource your health to other people. Inform yourself, educate yourself, do some research, and look for alternative methods of health.
Nice. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here today. If anyone wants to get in touch with you and, have more questions about your Ayurveda, the gut, the skin, anything like that, where can they find you?
Yeah, so I'm a little bit more active on Facebook. One of my goals for 2024 is to be more on Instagram, but you can find me under Amayra Morales on Facebook. And I also have a free Facebook group, Ayurveda for Millennial Professionals. So you can come and hang out there. I talk about skin health, Ayurveda, gut health, recipes, and everything in between. So come and hang out with me there.
That it's awesome. So yeah, and also too, I know you do retreats. Would you like to tell them a little bit about what you do? Are you still doing those in India?
No, not this year. I think I might actually do a ayahuasca retreat this year here in Peru. So completely different, but yeah, so I'm definitely not in India, but definitely here in Peru this year at some stage.
We'll check that out. For all your links, we will put that on the show notes for everybody that's interested in connect with you and see what you're doing. I think this is great. I think going back to our roots, going back to reconnecting with our body and nature, it's just like the way to go. So thank you for all these amazing tips and everything, all the information that you have gave us. Thank you for being here today. For anyone else, if you want to know any more about my show, you can go to alexbalgood.com. I'm on social media on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, pretty much everywhere. Also, too, remember my book is out and you can buy it on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles. It's called Parents Are Greatest Teachers. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, everyone, for listening and be open-minded about new information and new ways to heal yourself. Thank you, Myra, for being here today. And everybody, please have an amazing and blessed day.
Gracias.
Gracias.